It's a zombie company. It loses money. Nobody's going to the game. Thank God they get Caitlin Clark. She's injured for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, attendance goes down. This is not going to work long term. You trust me. You'll see this long term. Ain't nobody going to WNBA again.
Caitlin Clark sits out, and suddenly the WNBA feels it. Hard-won day tickets are going for $76. The next they're selling for $3. That's not a coincidence. That's impact. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player in the WNBA. She's the center of entire broadcasts, marketing strategies, and packed arenas. So when news broke that she'd be sidelined with a quad injury, the ripple effects weren't subtle. Ticket prices didn't just dip, they tanked. Fans didn't just pay less. Some stopped showing up altogether. Let's talk numbers. $3. That's what it cost to get into a Fever game after her injury was announced. Before that, the same seat was going for $76. That's a 92% drop, nearly overnight. This wasn't isolated to Indiana. Prices dropped in Washington, Chicago, and more. The league felt it everywhere. And while some players threw shade, some fans played it off, and the league tried to carry on like nothing had changed. It had. Drastically. Because when Caitlin Clark steps off the floor, it feels like the soul of the game steps away with. Her injuries are part of sports. That's nothing new, but this is different. When Clark is out, it doesn't just affect the Fever's lineup. It hits attendance, viewership, game day operations, and even the way networks prioritize coverage. Since Indiana confirmed she'd miss 2 weeks, average ticket prices for her games dropped from $137 to $80. Some fans scored seats for as low as $4. That's not a dip. That's a free fall. Now imagine this happening in the NBA. Imagine LeBron James missing 2 weeks and the Lakers suddenly can't sell out a game. That's the scale we're dealing with. Caitlin Clark is changing the game. Literally. She's not just drawing fans. She's elevating the entire WNBA. Her presence turns a regular season matchup into a national headline. Her absence dims the lights, quiets the buzz, and lowers the stakes. This is more than basketball. This is business. And right now, Caitlin Clark is one of the most valuable assets the WNBA has. Without her, the league feels it, in the seats, on the screens, and in the silence.
Let me be clear about this. If Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She's the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially. That is where we now.
You know you've made it when entire arenas shift schedules, just because your name is on the calendar. The Washington Mystics moved their game to Baltimore's CFG Bank Arena. The Chicago Sky, they traded Wintrust Arena for the 20,000-seat United Center. Why? One reason: Caitlin Clark. Teams aren't just selling more tickets. They're reworking their logistics, upgrading venues, and rewriting the playbook to handle the storm of interest Clark brings with her. Then the news broke. She's injured. Suddenly, those $86 seats for the much-hyped June 7th showdown between Clark and Reese dropped to $25 overnight. Some resale prices fell below the cost of a movie ticket. That's not just demand fading. That's momentum collapsing in real time. And here's what makes it wild. She's a rookie. Clark hasn't even been in the league a full season, yet her impact is seismic. She didn't just affect attendance, she changed infrastructure. This isn't a marketing push. This is a full-blown movement. So when people in the league still ask, has she earned it? Earned what? The right to be the reason an arena isn't empty? The right to be the economic engine of the league? The reason the lights stay on and the crowd shows up? Come on now. She's not just earning it. She's redefining what it even means to earn it.
Because I saw this today, it's fascinating. So, a university professor in finance looked up the value of Caitlin Clark for the WNBA.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star for the Indiana Fever. She's the economic engine of the WNBA right now. She moves the needle. She shifts ticketing strategies. She drives ad campaigns. And when she's not, on the court, the entire system starts to show cracks. Clark isn't just a scorer. She's a draw. She's not just a shooter. She's a sensation. When was the last time a rookie had this kind of league-wide influence? Zion Williamson had his moment in the NBA. But even then, the league wasn't holding its breath every time he checked in. With Caitlin, it's different. Her presence or absence changes everything. There are players who help teams. There are players who help cities. Caitlin Clark is helping an entire league stay relevant, profitable, and full of electricity. Take May 30th. The Indiana Fever played the Connecticut Sun. Caitlin Clark didn't even suit up, and still, over 16,000 fans packed the arena. That's a playoff-level crowd for a regular season game. With the star on the bench, some paid just $4 to get in. Why? Because she might be there. Because she might wave. Because she might sit courtside in a warm-up hoodie. That's not normal. That's superstardom. That's Taylor Swift showing up at an NFL game kind of influence. And in women's sports, that's nearly unheard of. Yet somehow, the WNBA is treating this moment like it's business as usual. Where's the marketing blitz? Where's the protection from officials? Where's the public acknowledgement that Caitlin Clark is the reason millions are finally paying attention? You don't treat a Ferrari like a golf cart. You don't treat your once-in-a-generation star like she's just another name on the roster. This is lightning in a bottle. And instead of lighting up the sky, the league is hiding from the rain.
So the WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlin Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices.
Let's address the elephant in the locker room. Not everyone in the league is thrilled about the attention Caitlin Clark is getting, and they're not exactly hiding it. You see it in passive-aggressive Instagram posts. You hear it in vague, pointed comments during press conferences. And you definitely see it on the court, where physical play sometimes crosses the line into something more. This isn't just healthy competition. It's a response to a spotlight that some feel she hasn't earned, despite the numbers, the fans, and the business she brings with her. Whether it's resentment, rivalry, or just resistance to change, one thing is clear. Caitlin Clark didn't ask for the spotlight. She became the spotlight.
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine.
Some say Caitlin Clark hasn't earned her stripes. But let's be real, the fans already gave her the badge. If any other player in the league was drawing 20,000 fans to arenas and pulling 2.5 million viewers on TV, the WNBA would be building statues. But with Caitlin, we get resentment. We get gatekeeping. Gatekeeping doesn't build legacy, it blocks it. And at some point, the veterans in this league need to stop trying to hold the door shut and start welcoming the fans who are finally walking in.
This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding.
Let's be clear. Caitlin Clark isn't asking for a red carpet. She's not begging for VIP treatment. She shows up, competes, and takes more hits than almost anyone else in the league. And still, she gets back up. She's doing everything you'd want from a professional, putting in the hours, staying humble, keeping her head down, keeping her game sharp. And yet somehow that's still not enough for some people in the league. They say she hasn't earned it, that she needs to pay her dues. Newsflash, this isn't a sorority, it's a business that survives on revenue, ratings, and relevance. And Caitlin Clark is delivering all three. This isn't high school. You don't get to haze the freshman just because she's more talented than you were at that age. You embrace it. Because if Caitlin eats, the whole league eats. Right now, every major sports network is talking about Caitlin Clark. Not just ESPN, Fox Sports, CNN, late-night shows. She doesn't just go viral for highlight plays. She goes viral for existing. She walks into an arena, flashbulbs go off. She warms up with headphones on. TikTok explodes. She takes a hard foul. Twitter turns into a war zone. The media gets it. So why doesn't the league? Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a moment. She's a storyline. She's a cultural movement in motion. If she scores 30, it's a headline. If she scores 9, it's a national debate. That's star power. And no other player in the league is commanding this level of attention. So while the world is watching Clark, what's the WNBA doing? The commissioner drops a tone-deaf op-ed, crediting a 3-pillar strategy for the league's success. Really? Let's be honest. Kathy Engelbert didn't go viral. She didn't drop 40 in the Final Four. She didn't crash ticketing sites or cause venue upgrades. Caitlin Clark did that. This isn't a 5-year marketing plan finally working. It's lightning in a bottle, and the league better stop acting like it's just light rain. Let's play the what-if game. What if Caitlin Clark woke up tomorrow and said, "I'm done"? What happens? TV ratings? Nosedive? Ticket prices? Back to pre-Clark levels, or lower. Casual fans? Gone. Media hype? Dead silent. Clark has single-handedly become the WNBA's most marketable asset. Without her, the narrative collapses. The Fever go back to being a small market team. And the WNBA goes back to begging for primetime coverage. That's not shade. That's reality. For months, fans complained tickets were too expensive. Clark made WNBA games unaffordable, they said. Well, now you can get in for $13, $9, center court. Seats for less than what you paid for takeout last night. So where are those fans now? The truth. They weren't just showing up for women's basketball. They were showing up for Caitlin Clark. And when she's not on the court, a lot of them don't show up at all. This is what the WNBA looks like without her. Are you still watching? Let's talk officiating. Clark is getting hit harder than anyone else in the league. Hip checks, elbows, full-on body slams, and the refs? Silent. No whistles, no texts, no fines. Meanwhile, veterans are getting superstar calls every night, so what gives? Clark draws more defenders, sells more tickets, and brings more eyes than anyone. Isn't that what makes you a star? So why not? Treat her like one? To the players feeling overlooked, this isn't personal, it's business. Clark's spotlight doesn't take away from you, it lifts all of you. It brings in money. Fans, national TV slots. That's a win. Jealousy doesn't grow leagues, strategy does. Use her momentum. Build off her success. Don't try to dim her light. Use it to shine brighter. This could be the WNBA's golden era, but only if everyone gets on the same team. Let's just call it like it is. The WNBA lives and dies with Caitlin Clark. She's the reason your cousin, who never watched women's basketball, knows the Fever schedule. She's why YouTube is flooded with WNBA highlights. She's why your mom is texting you asking, "Who's Angel Reese?" That's power. That's presence. That's Caitlin Clark. So protect her, support her, promote her, because the league needs her more than it realizes. And if she ever decides to walk away, the silence will be deafening. Now we want to hear from you. Should Caitlin Clark be getting superstar calls? Are the veterans being too salty? Or do they have a point? Would the WNBA still be booming if she never went pro? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you believe in the Caitlin Clark effect. Subscribe for more deep dives like this and share this with a basketball fan. Because this story, it's far from over.